with everybody because it is simply an amazing, amazing product. So good morning, Alexandra Taylor from Fogo Island Inn. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Oh, my pleasure.
So we're going to shortly get to your amazing slide presentation. I was taken aback when I first heard of Fogo Island Inn, and during one of the recent virtual travel conventions I was on, and I was just mesmerized. I was just going through all the material. So Alexandra, take it away. I would love for you to share with everyone the beauty that is Fogo Island Inn.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. And yeah, let's get started in looking at Fogo Island Inn. So for those who don't know, the first thing I like to point out is just a map here of exactly where we are located. So Fogo Island is off the northeast coast of Newfoundland, so about as far east in Canada as you can get. And our closest international airport is Gander, Newfoundland. So depending on where you're traveling from, usually the routing into Gander is through Halifax or St. John's. So that's kind of the easy in point to Fogo Island. Now, once you're in Gander, there are several options in terms of getting to the island itself, and then I'll get into the actual inn and our property and what you can do once you're there. I do have a brief video that I'm going to play just to give everyone kind of an overview of how exactly you get to us, because we are a bit of a remote destination, but certainly worth the journey. So here we go.
Community of Fogo Island. Situated along Iceberg Alley, the island is bounded by the rugged shores of the wild North Atlantic Ocean. Here, it's a gentle world of fishing stages, brightly colored lichen, and sea cliff footpaths. From wherever you're traveling in the world, your international gateway to Fogo Island Inn is Gander International Airport. Halifax, Nova Scotia, and St. John's, Newfoundland offer the best connections into Gander International Airport. From here, there are 3 ways to get to Fogo Island Inn. Rent a car. Traveling to Fogo Island Inn by car is a great way to experience our singular landscapes. From Gander International, drive for a little over an hour to the Farewell Ferry Terminal. From here, you'll take the passenger and vehicle ferry to Fogo Island. Board the ferry and set sail to enjoy the stunning views of Hamilton Sound. The crossing takes about 45 minutes to an hour. When you arrive on Fogo Island, continue your drive for another 30 minutes, meandering over the hills and along the coast to arrive at Fogo Island Inn. Charter a prop plane or a helicopter. From Gander International, fly directly to our paved airstrip on Fogo Island. The flight is approximately 30 minutes. Or leave the driving to us. You can be picked up by a Fogo Island community host at Gander International, and we'll bring you straight to the inn. When you confirm your stay, just let us know your preferred way to get to us. For more information about the best connections into Gander International Airport, email us at reservations@fogoislandinn.ca.
So a quick little overview there of the different options in terms of getting to us. So there are several ways you can route into Fogo Island. And once you are on Fogo Island, depending on the time of year you decide to join us, you'll arrive on one of our 7 seasons. Now, Fogo Islanders have long debated how many seasons there actually are on Fogo Island, but they finally agreed on 7. And the 7 seasons truly just reflect the changes in the winds and the weather, but also the changes in the lifestyle throughout the calendar year. So I'm just going to walk us through those 7 seasons to give you an idea of how the landscape changes and what's available. So currently we're in our late fall season on Fogo Island, and that runs the month of November. With winter kind of just on the horizon, and we have had the odd snowfall so far, whether it's to stay or not, we're not sure. Mother Nature will tell us, but late fall is really a great time of year to visit Fogo Island and enjoy just the beauty of the landscape. You'll see dramatic waves at this time of year crashing on the 420-million-year-old rocks, and the beautiful November gales are kind of a wonderful backdrop for hiking all of the wonderful trails on Fogo Island. That leads us into our winter season, which is basically traditional winter in North America, December 1st through to the end of February. At first glance, winter can be a slower pace on Fogo Island. Everyone's kind of calm and collected, and of course the landscape outside is starting to get covered in snow and ice. But a trip into the interior of Fogo Island really offers a lot more of a lively experience. So a lot of the local Fogo Islanders will retreat to cabins alongside frozen ponds and spend their days snowmobiling, skating, snowshoeing, tobogganing. So there's a whole host of activities that you can do in the winter months. Caribou wander by throughout all of winter, and we certainly do a lot of outdoor bonfires and cooking out on the rocks in the snow in winter months as well. So it is a beautiful time of year to really enjoy a Canadian winter. Following our winter, we have our pack ice season, which is the month of March, and pack ice is the beautiful photo you see in front of you now. So because Fogo Island is perched on the Labrador Current, it brings the multi-year pack ice down to us, and it kind of really moves and creaks and breathes, and it can be there in the morning and be gone in the afternoon. So it really is this amazing feat of nature and just this beautiful art to withhold. So March is still very much traditional winter months, and so those same activities are certainly still available. It's a great time also for both landscape and wildlife photography. And we're obviously getting the longer days in the month of March, so you can take advantage of those conditions even more so. Following our pack ice is, again, traditional spring in North America, so April through to the end of May. At this time of year, the ocean ice is starting to recede, our ponds are starting to thaw, you'll see some sprouting flora. It's really a welcome breath of fresh air. Our fishers are starting to gear up and get their boats in and out of the island's harbors. This time of year is typically when we start seeing a bit of crab and shrimp fishing. And the icebergs are maybe just starting to creep out on the horizon towards the end of May. It's a great time of year to really get outside and do some hiking, walking. We have so many different footpaths and hiking trails available on Fogo Island. So it's a really great kind of in-between season. And then following that, we have our trapper season, which is certainly unique to Fogo Island, and that runs the month of June. So it really neither belongs to spring or summer. It's its own season truly. And historically, markers for cod trap fishing berths were dropped on June 1st each year. And so that's why the season has the name it does. Again, the month of June is a short little season, but it's characterized by long, warm days, blooming wildflowers. The icebergs are certainly flowing past now, and we see the whales starting to appear offshore. So again, a beautiful time of year to really get outside and enjoy the landscape and the surroundings. Following that season, we have our traditional summer, so the month of July and the month of August. These obviously bring with them warm southerly breezes and an island that's really in full bloom. It's a time of year when we do everything outdoors. So this summer we'll find grassy hills carpeted in wildflowers. You can carefully kind of pick those. We even have an ice cream shop just down the road from the inn called Growlers. So some handmade, lovely ice cream that's made on Fogo Island. We offer hiking, walking, cycling. You can beachcomb and amble. There are beaches on Fogo Island. It is still the North Atlantic, so the waters are not super warm, but certainly swimmable in the summer months. With the seas a little bit calmer, obviously a lot of time for marine activities at this time of year as well. So beautiful time to get outside, do some rowing on the ocean as well, if you'd like to get a little bit more active. And finally, the seventh season is our berry season. So the months of September and October, it's a favorite among Fogo Islanders, and berry season really brings with it the hills just carpeted with berries. So there are dozens of varieties of edible berries. This time of year is really a treat for anyone who's particularly culinary minded. You can head out on the hills with our chefs or with our local guides and forage for berries, and then learn what we do with those, whether it's baking them into a pie, making some ice cream, or just preserving them. So it's a wonderful time of year to get outside and enjoy all things culinary as well. So those are our 7 seasons there on Fogo Island. Now, before I get into Fogo Island Inn, it's important to understand why we are where we are on this very specific rock. And so Fogo Island Inn is actually owned and operated by Shorefast, which is a Canadian charitable organization. And Shorefast's mission is to build cultural and economic resilience on Fogo Island and to serve the community well-being by building and sharing new models of economic development. So Fogo Island Inn is one of the social businesses that Shorefast operates. So they operate a host of charitable programs as well as social businesses. And this is the long list of them. So I'm not going to get into each one, but needless to say, there are a lot of different ventures happening on Fogo Island. And it really is central to everything that we do is really focused on the community and how we can serve it. And last thing I will say about that is our economic nutrition. I'm sure everyone has seen labels such as this on the food that you purchase. Usually you're very familiar with how to read these and how to make conscious and informed decisions about the food that you buy. So we really strongly believe that individuals influence through their purchases, and we believe in radical transparency. So we, with every nightly stay at Fogo Island Inn, we break down where exactly your money goes, how much of it is staying on Fogo Island, how much of it is staying within Canada as a whole, and where exactly it's being broken down to. And you'll see that any surpluses at Fogo Island Inn are directly reinvested into the community. So it is, there is no individual profit here. And now onto this beautiful building, Fogo Island Inn. So Fogo Island Inn was designed by Newfoundland-born Norway-based architect Todd Saunders. It is a 43,000 square foot inn perched on the stilts, hugging the North Atlantic coastline. So all 29 of our guest rooms do face the North Atlantic Ocean, as you see right here. And those waters you see in the image truly are the North Atlantic. So you're right as close to the ocean as you could possibly get. Our interiors really were designed it's radical in design, the inn itself, but traditional in Newfoundland aesthetic. So you'll see these comforts of pops of color, really traditional styles of the furniture as well, perhaps just made a little bit more comfortable, because the tradition in Newfoundland wasn't particularly comfortable furniture. And so we had a lot of different designers come and work with our builders on the island to figure out a way to use the old aesthetic, but make it a little bit more functional. So within the inn itself, we have a 37-seat cinema, which was built in partnership with the National Film Board of Canada. So we have state-of-the-art digital projections and sound system, and this cinema shows a whole variety of features, and it kind of doubles as well as a lecture theater, and we have daily scheduled programming for our guests there as well. We have a gathering space on the inn. It's located on our second floor, and it really represents a rejection of all things that are routine and ordinary in the realm of meeting spaces. So this space can be certainly multi-purpose. We've seen everything from board meetings to weddings hosted here. So very much open to the imagination in terms of what we can do in this space. Now, our library is truly a library of all things Newfoundland. It's a heritage library, and it contains an extensive collection of both fiction and nonfiction works pertaining to the history and culture of Newfoundland and Canada. Oh, I skipped a slide there. So we also have a beautiful tea room. We have an amazing pastry chef as part of our kitchen team. So this tea room is always stocked with goodies and fresh tea. So our guests are always welcome to help themselves here and enjoy maybe a moment of quiet in between all of the activities they might be doing outdoors. We have a gorgeous art gallery as well, located on our first floor, which features exhibitions of new work by artists and curators who have participated in the Fogo Island Arts International Residency Program. So we've had exhibits from artists all over the world here, and the exhibitions obviously change every few months as well. Now on our rooftop, we have beautiful saunas and hot tubs. Once the decision was made to build a sauna on the rooftop, we didn't decide to reinvent the Northern European tradition. So we built them very kind of almost Scandinavian in style. And because this sauna culture is really new to Fogo Island, we needed to make the design a little bit intuitive. So those are the saunas that you'll find, and they're south facing, so they receive direct sunlight into them. And then we have our beautiful rooftop hot tubs, which obviously, as you can imagine, on Fogo Island, not a whole lot of light pollution. And so stargazing here at night in the tubs is just the most magical experience. You'll never go close. Now, heading into our dining at Fogo Island Inn, all the meals are included in a stay at Fogo Island Inn, and that includes this image you see in front of you here, our daybreak tray. So every day our guests are greeted with this tray outside of their room when they first wake up. So it's stocked with whatever the preference may be for coffee, tea, pastry, gluten-free, whatever that might look like for each individual guest. But really the intention behind it is to allow our guests to just enjoy and linger a little bit, relax, take a bit of a slower pace, and not feel this urgent rush to get up, get dressed, showered, and come down for breakfast to our dining room. When the guests are ready, however, they can certainly join us in our dining room, which you'll see here. So our dining room is actually west facing, so beautiful sunsets in the evening. You can imagine having a lovely supper here. And our culinary team uses ingredients that are dictated by Fogo Island's still wild world. So the dishes are really grounded in this place. Our menus change daily and they change with the 7 seasons as well. So it really is this constant flux. We often get asked about our menus, but they are not the same in any 2 days. So it's a constant moving thing for us, but we're certainly also on that same note able to accommodate a variety of dietary needs and requests as well. So never hesitate to ask us about that. The dining room in the evening as well and set up for events. So certainly anyone looking to do perhaps a celebration, a wedding, a private stay, we offer those opportunities as well. And another dining space we have recently added is our shed. So the shed is actually located just a short walk from Fogo Island Inn, and it sits on the rocks just on the foreshore. But it's intended to really encourage guests to explore the island, its traditions and its history, and it's a little less formal than our inn's dining room itself. So it's just offering guests a different opportunity. In the shed, we normally do more family style dining, a little bit more rustic, I'll say. A lot of crab boil-ups happen here, as you can see in the image. So a beautiful second space to have some meals as well. Now onto our rooms and suites. So at Fogo Island Inn, we have a variety of room categories. As I mentioned previously, there are 29 guest rooms. Every single one is ocean facing. So no matter which room you're in, you do have a beautiful view. Our Labrador rooms are our kind of lead-in rooms. They are located on our first, second, and third floors. And so they obviously all have beautiful views. The lower down you are, the closer you are to the rocks. The higher up you are, you might have a little more of an ocean view, maybe see those whales and passing icebergs as well. Our Newfoundland rooms are on our third and fourth floors. So they have a bit of a different view, slightly larger rooms. All of our rooms have beautiful bathrooms attached, and they're all set up with king beds, which can be separated into 2 large singles as well. Now our Fogo Island suites, we have 2 varieties. There's a family suite, so we can accommodate 4 or 5 guests in those suites, and those king beds again can be split out, so we can potentially have 4 beds in a room. A little bit larger, certainly some of our family suites have 2 bathrooms as well. And then we have our Fogo Island suites, one of which is a loft suite, which you see here. So it's a 2-story beautiful suite. The other Fogo Island suites are also corner suites. We call them our sunrise and sunset suites. Speaks for itself. Beautiful corner views, standalone freestanding tubs, beautiful spaces just to relax and enjoy. And our final room category is our flat earth suite. It's our one of a kind. We call it our captain's quarters. It's a 2-story, 1,100 square foot suite. So really you have 3 2-story walls that are all floor to ceiling windows. So most stunning views here, obviously really lets you enjoy the island when you're inside still. Now, what to do on Fogo Island? So I mentioned before that everything we do really is surrounded in serving the community, and the community is a big part of everything that we do at Fogo Island Inn. So depending on the time of year you come, there's a whole host of activities that are available to you. So in the winter months, everything from skating to snowmobiling, ice fishing, snowshoeing. We offer all of those kinds of activities here. Hiking our trails is really possible at any time of year. I should also mention, for those who maybe not are aware, Fogo Island is about 4 times the size of Manhattan. So it is not a tiny island. There is quite a lot to explore and do and see. And on the island, we have 11 different communities as well. So those communities are all, they vary greatly from each other, and there's different things to do and see in each community as well. So there is quite a lot to do. If you can picture walking all of Manhattan, we're 4 times that size. So a lot of different things you can do and experience. We have 2 beautiful Newfoundland dogs that like to visit us every day. Their names are Make and Break. Obviously in the summer months, I mentioned fishing. So cod is the fish on Fogo Island or in Newfoundland as well. So we offer the opportunity for our guests to get out and learn how to sustainably catch fish through our handline fishing. Iceberg watching, of course, is a big activity. Now, because we are in Iceberg Alley, the icebergs do float right past us, and you can certainly enjoy them from your bed in your guest room. But for those who want to see them a little bit more up close, you can certainly get out in a boat and do so. These are some of our boats that take guests out. We have a tiny archipelago of islands just off the coast of Fogo Island called Little Fogo Islands, which used to be inhabited. And this is a photo of what they look like now. So it's abandoned, but we certainly offer the opportunity to dock our boat, get out, explore, see the wildflowers, see some of the old structures, churches. There's quite a bit to explore there. And on Little Fogo Islands, you'll also find in the summer months thousands of puffins, razorbills. For anyone who's a big birder, it's a beautiful spot to see these birds. And in our berry season, berry picking, of course, is a big activity. We also provide buckets, boots, kind of any of that outdoor weather gear. Same thing for our winter months if anyone needs a full snowsuit, whether it's wind gear or rain gear or snow gear, we supply that at the inn, so our guests don't have to worry too much about packing full suitcases of that. And in our fall months, we can see the landscape starts to change here. This is one of the artist studios that belongs to our Fogo Island Arts program. And you'll see the herds of caribou that tend to be the only thing causing traffic jams on Fogo Island when they decide to all cross the street at once. But these caribou are usually found in our kind of fall, winter months. You start to see them more and more prevalent on the island. And that kind of takes us through the activities here. So I'll let Lisa take it back here, but thank you everyone so much for joining me.
Okay. I am new at the share screen.
Here we go. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, here we go. So we've got it done. So it is an amazing, amazing property. And one of the things that struck me was that it is a social business. It is 100% part of the community. And
yes,
one of the things I had read somewhere was about you are assigned a local should you need one.
That's right. Yeah. So our community hosting program is an integral part of everything we do on Fogo Island. And so we try to match our guests with a local community host. And we provide an island orientation as part of the stay as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that also just offers our guests the opportunity to learn a little bit more directly from a local Fogo Islander that's grown up and currently lives on Fogo Island, learn a little bit about the history, the culture, what it was like to grow up there, what it's like now. They're totally unscripted. It's not a rehearsed, tour of the island in any way, shape, or form. So it's really geared towards our individual guests. And on that same token, if we have guests traveling with families or with kids, we try to pair them with someone who also has kids, and those kids can learn, what life is like on Fogo Island and how it maybe differs from them. So it's really a unique opportunity.
What would be the year-round population of Fogo Island, roughly?
So roughly it's about 2,600.
Okay, so it's a fair enough little town.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Gosh, there's just so many questions. And what is the most popular time of year to visit Fogo Island? I know what when I would love to go, but it may not be everyone else's cup of tea.
Exactly. So, I get asked that question a lot. And my response always is, it depends what you'd like to do. Mm-hmm. Really, that's what will dictate it. For me, berry season probably is among our more popular, for sure, because the weather's still quite friendly in terms of warmth. It's not too cold yet. You can get outside and hike the hills. And a lot of people do tend to travel more for culinary adventures now. So it's a great time of year for that. My personal favorite time of year is March. I think our pack ice season is just stunning. And if you happen to be, a Canadian or an American or anyone who lives through winters, getting somewhere like Fogo Island in the winter months allows you to fall back in love with winter, because
That
you're
would be
not
my
dealing with
choice.
you're not dealing with the city and snow plows and all that kind of stuff. You really just get to enjoy what a Canadian winter really truly should be, and it's amazing.
And the whole idea of being able to stargaze
Yes.
without any light from the city. Just,
Yes, it's amazing.
I could only imagine. So, I guess we just have to, roll with the punches right now to determine when the inn is going to be reopened for guests.
Yeah, so we are actively accepting reservations and have set a reopen date of March 11th, 2021.
Mhm.
So we are taking reservations that date forward.
And would that be just for those within the Atlantic bubble, or in general, you're accepting reservations?
In general, we're accepting reservations from that date forward. I mean, we're certainly very hopeful that all Canadians will be able to travel to us then. We are hopeful that the American border may be open by then. So yeah, that's how we're moving forward. We've got to be a little bit optimistic.
Absolutely, of course. And earlier I was asking you about those socks that are just over your shoulder.
Yes.
They are amazing, and they're local. They're local to
They're
Fogo
local,
Island.
yes. I will, I'll show them for everyone else here. So these are our snake socks. They're actually available for purchase through our sister company. So one of these social businesses that Shorefest operates, it's called The Wood Shop on Fogo Island. They do have a website, and they actually sell them through the website as well, along with many of the pieces of furniture you would have seen in my presentation that are in the guest rooms. We actually sell that furniture online as well.
Okay. Well, I think that's about it for now, because all I know is I can hardly wait for March. I want the opportunity to go to Fogo Island Inn. Like I said, when I first saw it some time ago, I was totally intrigued. And then when it was on the virtual travel convention, I was just totally smitten with the idea. Not only is it a stunning, unique property, but it's a social business. And
Yeah.
so that whole aspect of giving back is there. And I just want to thank you very much for taking time out this morning for joining me. And if anyone has any questions about Fogo Island Inn, they're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I will bounce them off of Alexandra. So I want to thank everyone that joined me on Zoom and on Facebook. And until next week. No, actually not next week. There's another virtual travel conference going on the following week. All right, take care. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.